Hmm. So I guess I should speak at some point. I've discussed the idea with people I know and believe it would be a good idea to hold politicians accountable by offering a second place option. So the goal of the party would not be to win, it would be to come in second place. So as to off and so the parties would have to properly represent the people and offer that representation as an option. Otherwise, people can vote for a tax revolt where they would not be getting paid. The party would operate if they had a did manage to get any seats, they would poll constituents each and the representative would be party uh, methodology would be the representative has to vote the, on whatever issue the way the representatives have polled that they vote. So the majority in a direct democracy fashion of that jurisdiction would determine what that jurisdiction's vote is. And if the party won, a majority would initiate a shutdown of government and a no longer collecting of taxes. The party would have to, while running, plan to plan in the case that it did win, but the ultimate goal would be to come in second place. So, yeah, so in the case that they did win, they would have to manage a plan for fundraising for essential services so that police, fire departments, and healthcare, the essentials would be funded still, so, but would have to not from the government, from local fundraising activity for those. So that'd be the major push of the party would be to would shift from, and there would be a election, another election. So start another set of campaigns. The campaign of the party, once if it got a majority, would not be campaigning to win. It would be campaigning for funded raising to pay essential service members, maybe even raise funds for particular projects like maintenance. In the next election cycle, they would ultimately the goal would be to come in second place. So you would want the party to always be second to whatever the, even if it's minority majority minority of seats, you would want them to be. You would want to be in second, and the real opposition would be third. Would be the goal of the party. You'd never want. You wouldn't want to have enough people vote you in that you wouldn't get paid. You'd still want to be out there campaigning, representing the people. So yeah, it's just an option for the idea is an option for people to vote and say you're not doing good enough. We are not interested in having you represent us anymore. As a threat for voters to vote for, saying because current politics has become so voting against something rather than voting for somebody who's got policy you agree with is voting against policy you disagree with. So voting to get the current people in power out of power to pick somebody who's not much different isn't really democracy. So if you have the option to say, okay, I don't like those guys, who would I vote for? Well, I don't like any of them. none of them seem to represent me. I'm going to vote for these guys. It would force them to campaign in a way where the public are having a something that represents them as an option. Like, a lot of people are not voting for specific leadership, mainly due to the they just disagree. They don't have anything. They don't agree with somebody else. They're just voting for the person who's most likely to take them out. So getting other links open in case there's anyone discussing. Let's see my post showing. Boom. There. Oh, whoops. I did that wrong. I want to try that. Oh. Huh. That sucks. So I guess I'm not allowed to share this in public. Whatever. Nobody's watching, so I'm clear to browse elsewhere. I need that to be in my. It's not a bad idea according to some parts of the internet. Other parts of the internet are not. I've been told YouTube's not approved on. Well, no surprise. It's not a official news source for politics. I suppose. Not supported. But what? It's pretty bad when specific places with a specific reputation are the ones that your voice can be heard in. So what I'm doing, so I have my live stream open to discuss this live, but I've also posted it in a couple of forums. The one forum is a free speech tolerant forum. The other is not so much, heavily moderated. I could post it to more places. I haven't put any effort to have a serious presence anywhere but Snapchat and Instagram, which are not. This is not in alignment with the type of presence I have there. So not much good would come from discussing politics with people uninterested in politics. Of course, there's always somebody online interested, which is why here. So I'm very aware that I'm live right now and I'm browsing, doing nothing useful. Let's see. I'll stand in the new list. There's no sense in this one. This is the one that's been scrubbed, right? Automatically remove. Keep that open. So I'm just cycling through and refreshing and seeing if anyone has any comments. Try to remove myself as a vote. So yeah, that's where we stand. Taxable party. Yes. So you have to maintain a level of tension here, but I don't have anything interesting to play like a game. Oh, the vote is tomorrow. That's interesting. Not sure what I'm gonna vote for. Not sure. Is Oh, I just noticed. If you have anyone who has any questions about the idea, it's here. This is the start. I've talked in person with several of my friends, and I've got nothing to do, so I figured I'd see how many people are actually interested. The idea is to come in second place and offer a threat of non-payment to the state if they don't offer any options for representation for the public. While the constituents of the party were not in a majority position, and we would not campaign for a majority, it'd be a campaign for second place, they would be voting the way the constituents want them to. So they would poll their constituents, and in a direct democracy fashion, their vote would be by party procedure held to whatever their constituents have voted for. So it'd be direct democracy representation in second place, and first place would be first place would be a tax revolt. So the party would have to be preparing for the possibility of coming in first. And I think the way to go about that would be to initiate essentially a government shutdown and then go out in public and fundraise. So if people aren't paying taxes, they won't have that extra gap, and you ask them to pay for services like but essential services first, your emergency services. Hope that your emergency personnel would continue showing up even if they're not getting paid, and try and make sure that they are able to show up because they're provided for. But you'd have to fundraise and ask people to volunteer their payment for that. So, but ultimately, you'd be going for second place. Yes, that means paying no taxes. That's the idea. As an offer, as a alternative, if there's no options that you feel represent you, you could vote for the party that say, "Hey, none of you guys are represented." I might do it if enough people are interested. I'm at this point of being bored and discussing it online because many people in public I've spoken with seem interested in the idea. I've talked about it as there should be this, but I've not seen anyone go further than that. So if I'm the originator of the idea, I might as well put in the effort. I see where you come from. I tried posting this on the other place. I've never been to the other place properly. Only I like the format, but when the censorship happened, I came from where you came from. So what? I don't mind being crucified if that's what it would come to. I think I could play the line well enough. I've got the Jesus rabbi look. You know, speaking in code, the place where you saw this is likely a free speech equivalent to somewhere else. That somewhere else I never partook in, but the censorship drew enough attention that I looked it up and I liked the format, and especially with the free speech promise. That's what the other place is. This place is YouTube. I have to see if I can play by the rules if I'm interested in legitimately uh, starting a tax revolt party. I'm all for free speech. I'm physically located in Canada. We have an election. Tomorrow I will be voting, and I don't see any serious options. And I've talked about this with some people, which is why I've come to be interested in it enough to live stream it, at least, I guess. Canada's screwed, I think. It's hard to say. We'll find out record turnout for voters, so people are becoming more politically active. And my family, who are young, the youth, seem to be very aware of the situation in the world. They don't take defeat pretty serious. Oh, I downvoted. Yes. Bam. Or bam. Hmm. Yeah, it's not super. That's bam. Gained and lost interest. Oh, that's interesting. Hmm. Hmm. Sure. I was considering playing some Minesweeper. Bored. There we go. There we go. There we go. Right. I should put this on screen because it's like a growing game of Minesweeper. Gotta get to bed soon. Work tomorrow. So, well, come on. It seems like anyone is in. Probably been censored already, so probably shouldn't worry too much about mentioning vote. Since I vote, talked about it. Actually, that should be said. Good day. Just discussing the idea of a tax revolt party. It's worth my time. Some of my friends seem to like the idea, but they're very politically apathetic. Although I have been told by people I should run because they would vote for me, so there is that. Really can also be screwing with me because I like to speak politically, so I usually run. It's expensive to run in Canada though. And, fairly decent budget. You need to be part of the approved demographic to do anything here. It seems. I could be very wrong about that as well. So keep that in mind, I do. That sound is me clicking and playing solitaire. I would be playing different game or doing something else if I didn't think this idea was worth a little bit of further consideration and time. We have an election tomorrow. I might just beat this idea to death every week. We're not sure if I muster the level of commitment that would take. Okay. Doing well in my game of solitaire. Of course. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like a game of solitaire. I think it's probably been engineered at this point to be very addictive. As simple as it is, it probably gives a win-loss probability. I've thought about how you would do it, and it wouldn't be too difficult to set up a map that follows. Simply, you could use simple rules of logic likely to be used and give win no win scenarios. Oh, we got somebody. Oh, yeah, win no win scenario. Yellow. See if there's somebody else dropped in. No. If you're interested in the idea of a Tax Revolt Party. Dropped out. Doing two things at once is probably not a good idea. I'm probably not setting a good example of my commitment to the cause. I don't know. It's an idea I've had floating around. I'm not sure if it's a winner idea, and it's not the goal of the party would not be to win. You'd be just there, willing to do the service if you did win, but preferring to keep the other parties presenting options that represent the people. And with a simple stance like that, I believe it would be hard to paint the party in a way they like to paint the non-mainstream parties. So you just keep it simple. In the minority position, you vote by policy the way your majority of your constituents would have you vote based on polling them. In the majority position, you do the duty of putting through a tax revolt, and while you'd initiate another election cycle right away, of course, and hope that the other parties start offering viable options and actual representation of the people. And in second place, you would be, sorry, I'm not looking at the chat because somebody said something. In second place, you would be representing your constituents in a direct democracy fashion. Yeah, hopefully that would keep mainstream parties representing the people rather than having the current tradition of always voting against whoever is currently in power for the most likely other guy who is likely on the same bankroll. If you're interested, drop a line. I think I've put in the description link if you want to monetarily support. The main idea is always consider the idea and think about it and spread the idea. If I feel either there is enough interest or personally bored enough and interested enough, I will continue to spread it. I would hope that there either somebody else would take the idea and run with it, or enough people would be supporting of the idea that I'd be able to create the party and see how far it went. Historically, the concept of a tax revolt is very interesting because they have happened, but many of the histories of tax revolts seem heavily censored. So there's got to be a level of success they have for the mainstream for those in power to be fearful enough historically to have censored when they have happened and how they happened and the details of it. Even the current, you could say tax revolts, the current monetary revolts like Iceland's 2010 revolt, that was very successful, where they just refused to pay inherited debt, the debt the nation had built up over the years, to banks, and jailed the bankers who were screwing with their economy. And just the whole situation that happened in Iceland in 2010. So, if the party did get into first place, I feel the majority of the campaigning would be to raise funds, because if your goal is second place, then once you've won, you haven't achieved your goal if you're in first place. So start raising funds for emergency services and infrastructure and what the government is supposed to pay for. The party members would start, well, for one, the public would have more money, so you'd be asking them to volunteer that extra money that they were paying in taxes to other programs. I'm going to repeat myself a lot, aren't I? Somebody dropped in for a moment and said and did nothing. I'm playing Minesweeper while I do this because there's not enough. I've live streamed in the past experimentally, and I'm definitely not following the trends, so I'm not doing this very well on the marketing side. I'm just capitalizing on the time I have for the idea. If I didn't have to work so much, and I had the time, I would be paying attention to the different things I'm interested in posting on or live streaming on, and I find the moment most likely to garner a lot of attention. We have a vote tomorrow, so tomorrow would be maybe a good time to. Oh, I've also don't have the software like I used to. I just installed it, so tomorrow might be a better time. I'll just work tomorrow, so then I could live stream the election, talk about that while discussing the taxable party. I mean, this is my personal channel, and that's what that is. Okay, I'm playing Minesweeper, by the way, in the background. If anyone's interested in Minesweeper, if anyone's interested in what I'm doing, I'm switching between the tabs I have open, seeing if anyone has comments on the idea, and then I am jumping over to Minesweeper and going. Oh, here's an interesting thing. It's either those two. It has to be two of those three, so it can't be. Damn it. Oh, shoot. I got to no win. It was like, I could have done the math and probabilities and picked the most probable spot, but it wasn't. It was no win, right? There's 100% probability versus 50, 25, whatever. I'm thinking of a situation in Minesweeper where you have 50-50 on one side, and then so the one is a 50-50, so it's 25-25-50. So you pick one of the 25s. I had one of those and I didn't click it. I ran around in circles looking for a 100 until I didn't have. Oh, I have unread messages. I know it's probably. Wow. I don't know. I clicked buttons, so I need to quit doing that, I guess. This is, I get it, the ups and downs here. Oh, Minesweeper, that's right. I should quit. Are you going to do it? Dennis, I am going to do it. If I can get the support and I feel like I have a chance, I will do it. I do think I would have a good chance. I just need the funding. The funding is something I don't like the idea of trying to raise. So I'm starting by discussing the idea and hoping somebody else likes it enough to take it from me so I don't have to do it myself. I know nobody's watching. If you watch this back and see that monologue, that was honest thought. I really just do not like the idea of asking for money. I'm stubborn. Was I speaking aloud when I was responding to messages on? I don't think I was, but that'd be funny if I was. I gotta take a break from this stream. It's been an hour. Maybe tomorrow I'll come back. Maybe not. I might work enough tomorrow that I get really tired and decide that I try and get enough sleep that I don't have to worry about. I was lucky. I don't have to worry about not having energy to do things, but with this current job I have, it's not really something I have liberty to do. Okay. I wonder if the Minesweeper clicking will be irritating. I when I live stream, I often will watch it back. Although I should quit getting into the habit of erasing, on making it not public, because I'm sure someday down the road I'm going to regret that. Make it public. Somebody will notice, and it will be embarrassing. More embarrassing because I was aware. I don't know. I make myself watch everything. I do. So maybe one day I will be better at doing this simply because I have put myself through it enough. I'm not willing to put myself through garbage any longer. That's the hope. I just realized. Boom, 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 boom. Refresh. Okay, the idea is being pushed down, so I'm likely not going to. I'm hoping, I suppose, that I don't get to the point where we're almost going an hour. Bam! Sorry. I get excited at Minesweeper sometimes. Unnecessarily. Due to how addicted, I guess, it is. Addicted to what I am. I mean, I'm just addicted to games, really. Everybody is, I think. There's maybe not everybody. There's an evolutionary reasoning behind that for me. It's the hunt. If you're not interested in the hunt, you die. The game, the competition. participating in that. Hmm. I, when I was a kid, we were put into a Christmas show by my parents for the community. I don't get that feeling of being aware people are or could be watching me, and I'm being uncomfortable with it very often. Like that's probably the last time. And probably because of that, that's the reason I don't get it. And I think it's the doing it not so much out of free will, but out of duty. That might be the reason for the nerves that I feel. Because yeah, I haven't felt it in years, and I'm feeling it right now. Maybe it's a sense of duty thing. Hmm. So 5. Wow. I thought I was screwed. This game of solitaire. And I wanted to, well, I mean, there's two, 50-50. Oh, okay. I gotta play. Oh, it's been over an hour. I'm tired. Tired in general. So, I keep going? Probably really should. I just saw might, somebody new might be watching and just not aware of it yet. I didn't set this up right. I should have put the camera in the corner and some game on the main screen. I don't have a way of watching my viewer count that way. And I really don't like playing games windowed. I like playing full screen. I need new headphones. So that's probably part of the reason. I mean, I also, the games I want to play are piss me off a little bit. So there's that. So the idea of a tax revolt party in the free speech part of the internet seems interesting, which makes me believe Down the free speech, intolerant part of the internet. That there is a level of either it's not in the right area and it's been masked by the sheer volume, which I'm looking into right now. There we go. Oh yeah, we have an election tomorrow, so that's probably it on that one. Assume stupidity sometimes over incompetence. No. I've sorted by new, and I'm not getting new stuff. That's irritating. Right. So, yeah, that one's getting pushed down. Let's see, what am I doing here? I'll probably go to bed soon. I guess I have to leave this one up because I've linked to it elsewhere. Let me see. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna look up interested in politics. Look at the early voting results. Let's see, this is sometimes I get very irritated. So I don't see. I'm looking at this the CIBC's website here polls, but it's not. I don't. I'm looking at trying to look at the advanced voting. Yeah, I can only find that record number voted. Like I see projections to win, but it's not saying. I don't know if the liberals get into power, I might just cross the border. That's not what I asked. I don't get this. Duck duck. See, I'm not getting, can't find the. I think we lose. I guess there's no results for the advance. There can't be. Well, I guess I could go for a couple more minutes. I have that many, I believe. So, that's it. Talk to you later.